Well, it's well timed because Rangers have won their first Scottish title, and Mick Beale was, who I've known for a long time, Mick. Again, with different generations, with different backgrounds, and when I saw him present in Belfast, where I sometimes do some work with Mick, he spoke about his time in Sao Paulo and how Brazilian South American players, they need a lot of playfulness in their training schedule to keep them engaged, because it can get very functional. And Chris mentioned it there about they've developed two or three or four of their own leagues now with the training environment. Luckily, and this is one of the benefits of COVID, we've built or have a temporary structure, which is a sort of it's an indoor gym, but it's built as a I just call it the biggest gazebo gym in the world. And the players there have taken up two-touch, which improves their skill. Head tennis, again, all within COVID regulations, because we've been, again, the staff have been magnificent on managing COVID. So we've had head tennis, we've had two-touch tennis, and we've got stand-up. I mean, Chris mentioned it, stand-up Jenga. Now, I've recorded a couple of games of this Jenga, and we all stand 2 meters apart, and you walk in to pull your brick out. The level of competition in a game of stand-up Jenga, I can assure you, which is playfulness, is extraordinary. And even one game which I recorded, you could even see how, dare I say it, the goalkeepers were very methodical in which brick they pulled out. The defenders and central midfielders were quite thoughtful around it. In came the centre forwards and just pulled out the first brick they saw, and down went the pile. But we will use any form of, or they want to, they can invent games which keep them moving, interested, and engaged, because as I mentioned there in the interview, and I say this again with no embarrassment, as much as I love football, and I still get the most extraordinary buzz going into work in football, it can get very monotonous. The week can look very much the same. And I've worked in a number of sports. The week is very structured. There's not much room for breathing and, dare I say it, doing your own thing. So the more they can do that within the regulations, without exhausting themselves, without doing something stupid or injuring themselves, I think is important, and it keeps them interested and engaged, because boredom, I think, does play a role in football, because if you just do the same thing every day with the same people, with the same voice and the same tracksuit and the same gym, with the same bike and the same mat, that can get tedious, and we've got to keep people fresh, particularly in COVID.